This is what Jesus mean when he said he came to fulfill the law. The 10 Commandments. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Honor thy father and thy mother. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet. Exodus 20 verse 2 to 17. Now this is the New Testament and this is Jesus' commandments. You find in Matthew 19 verse 18 to 19. Thou shalt do no murder. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Honor thy father and thy mother. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. So Jesus repeats 6 commandments from the Old Testament. 4 is missing. Let's find it. Matthew 22 verse 37 to 38. Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. So here Jesus is saying the greatest commandment is to love God with all your soul, heart, and mind. And that commandment in itself covers the first 3 commandments of the Old Testament, which is having no other God before me, making graven image, and taking the Lord's name in vain. Now we have 9 commandments established in the New Testament. Now we need to find the 4th commandment, which is remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Matthew 11 verse 28 to 29. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me. For I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. So in the Old Testament, you get a day of worship. But in the New Testament, here Jesus is telling us that he is the rest, meaning that he is the Sabbath. Remember that the Old Testament symbolized which was to come, because the Old Testament was the schoolmaster. So everything in the Old Testament was symbolic unto what was to come, which is Jesus and his covenant. So Jesus is the rest. But if you don't believe me, this scripture will help you. Hebrews 4 verse 8 to 11. For if Jesus had given them rest, then would he not afterward have spoken of another day? There remaineth therefore a rest to the people of God. For he that is entered into his rest, meaning enter into Jesus' rest, he also had ceased from his own works, as God did from his. Let us labor therefore to enter into that rest, which is Jesus' rest, lest any man fall after the same example of unbelief. That scripture right there just clear up everything, but let me go just a little bit further. Matthew 12 verse 8. For the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath day. So here Jesus revealed his identity as the Lord of the Sabbath. He reign and rule over the Sabbath. And that's why the scripture said, let no man judge you of any holy day or any Sabbath day. Because in this covenant which is in the New Testament, which is Jesus shed his blood on the cross of Calvary for us, is only through him you will find true rest. Now, this is the 10 commandments in the fulfillment state. This is the 10 commandments in the purest form. But until we meet again, shalom.